Duan Xiaoming, the young master of a mafia family, attended a wedding in a bathrobe. His subordinate, Zhang Xiang, reminded him, "Don't be too flashy." But Duan Xiaoming didn't listen, and he was immediately drawn to a girl at the scene. She looked innocent, yet her vibe exuded a dark, ominous energy, which piqued his interest. Lu Mingyu, having paused her painting, confirmed that the man was single and directly asked, "Wanna go to bed?" Duan Xiaoming was stunned. He didn't expect her to be so direct. But Lu Mingyu wasn't fazed by his reaction. Without hesitation, she threw her painting out toward the wedding happening downstairs. Duan Xiaoming quickly stopped her, grabbing the girl and taking her away. In the blink of an eye, they were in bed, indulging in a night of passion, unable to stop. The next morning, Lu Mingyu was interrogated by her family. It was clear her older sister, Lu Qian, and her aunt were dissatisfied with her. Finally, her uncle intervened to stop the drama, but the following conversation sent chills down her spine. He acted like a pervert, sniffing Lu Mingyu's scent before coldly asking, "Have you made up your mind?" It was clear that the man had impure thoughts about her. Lu Mingyu provocatively responded, "Dream on." This angered her uncle, who directly threatened to confine her. But then, Lu Lin intervened, reminding his father that Miss Su had come looking for Lu Mingyu. Since the Su family was influential, her uncle didn't dare offend them and reluctantly allowed her to go. Lu Mingyu got into Su Suyu's car, preparing to leave home. They headed straight to the airport. Meanwhile, Duan Xiaoming was still replaying the passionate night in his mind. He ordered, "Find that girl." Su Suyu was worried about her friend's financial issues abroad, but Lu Mingyu didn't care. Her secret painting from a year ago had sold for 10 times its price, enough to support her overseas life. However, her uncle quickly realized the girl had escaped, but the only person they caught at the airport was Su Suyu, who was wearing Lu Mingyu's clothes. Lu Lin eventually found Lu Mingyu in a cemetery. Upon seeing her, he slapped her hard. Lu Mingyu didn't back down and taunted him, "You're so stupid. Did uncle tell you where I was? He knew I couldn't run, so he must have come to the cemetery to visit my parents." Enraged, Lu Lin raised his hand to slap her again, but Lu Mingyu decisively blocked it, coldly retaliating. "Do you dare slap a face that looks like my mother's? Your father wouldn't even allow my parents to be buried together. He's a pervert." Lu Lin cursed her viciously, but Lu Mingyu recalled the time when he had framed her and had her locked away. She said, "You're the ones who forced me." Zhang Xiang had gathered photos of all the girls in Kipeos at the wedding, but none of them were the one Duan Xiaoming was looking for. He still couldn't get past Lu Mingyu's friend request, replaying every movement from that night, each detail tugging at his heart. On her first day of marriage, Lu Qian was abandoned by her husband. She angrily took her frustrations out on Lu Mingyu, but her father quickly intervened. At that moment, Lu Mingyu's uncle noticed the injuries on her face and realized that Lu Lin had been the one behind it. In a fit of rage, he slapped Lu Lin hard. Lu Mingyu provocatively looked at her brother and murmured, "I have a strong sense of revenge." Her uncle dragged her to the study and, in a threatening tone, said, "If you dare run away again, you better be careful with your grandmother's life." Lu Mingyu roared in anger, "She's your mother too." Her uncle didn't care about his mother's well-being. Instead, he pinned a pearl hairpin onto Lu Mingyu's head. Lu Mingyu's aunt and older sister, Lu Qian, secretly plotted to marry Lu Mingyu off to a son from another prominent family. Lu Qian took her to a party for heirs of wealthy families, where Duan Xiaoming finally laid eyes on the girl he had been obsessing over. Zhang Xiang told Duan Xiaoming the rumors about the Lu family. Lu Mingyu was the second daughter, an obedient girl who had never been favored and rarely left the house. Duan Xiaoming ordered his men, "Bring her to my room." Lu Qian deliberately had a playboy approach Lu Mingyu, but Lu Mingyu coldly sneered at her sister, saying, "Shut up. You're the only fool in this family." Zhang Xiang hurriedly stepped in to help Lu Mingyu, escorting her to Duan Xiaoming. However, Zhang Xiang's actions reminded Lu Mingyu of the time her uncle locked her away. Her eyes became as sharp as knives, causing Zhang Xiang to freeze momentarily. Finally, Lu Mingyu met Duan Xiaoming. She grabbed his necklace and provocatively said, "You think you're so cool? Still single?" Want to sleep together again? The two quickly ended up in bed, with Lu Mingyu warning him, family rules are strict. We only have an hour. Duan Xiaoming sent her home, knowing her family was strict. He gave her a phone and asked her to accept his friend request. Back at home, Lu Mingyu was immediately bombarded with questions. She explained that her sister had taken her to the party, but ended up leaving her in a crowd of spoiled rich kids. Soon after, Lu Lin handed over the party surveillance footage to her uncle. In the footage, Lu Mingyu was surrounded by a group of men drinking. Her uncle furiously grabbed her older sister by the hair and dragged her away to lecture her, while Lu Mingyu calmly sat on the couch sipping tea. On the other side, Zhang Xiang was puzzled by the Lu family's sudden actions. After their daughter had disappeared for an hour, they hastily checked the surveillance. Suddenly, Duan Xiaoming asked his subordinate how the marriage proposal process worked in such wealthy families. Yes, Duan Xiaoming was planning to propose to Lu Mingyu. Lu Mingyu was strategizing at home and realized that Duan Xiaoming might be a useful tool for her revenge. This man was extraordinary. Not only could he customize untraceable phones, but he could also alter surveillance footage in 10 minutes. Late at night, Duan Xiaoming met with Lu Mingyu. He noticed the clear signs of corporal punishment on her body. Coldly, he said, "I don't think it's normal for a 22-year-old to be punished like this." Lu Mingyu respondedly, "In my family, it's normal." Without hesitation, Duan Xiaoming confessed, saying he wanted to marry Lu Mingyu. She was stunned, but he quickly added, "However, I can't propose properly until a month from now." Then, Duan Xiaoming declared that they were now officially dating. Lu Mingyu agreed. Upon learning that Lu Chen was going to a bar, Lu Mingyu deliberately brought Duan Xiaoming along. As soon as Lu Chen appeared, Lu Mingyu didn't hesitate to throw herself at Duan Xiaoming and passionately kissed him in front of her sister. Lu Chen was furious, her eyes turning red. She immediately got in the car with plans to expose Lu Mingyu's actions. However, when she checked the car, she found only Su Yu and Lu Mingyu. Soon after, Lu Chen's malicious actions were met with severe punishment from her father. Her uncle ordered that no one should tarnish Lu Mingyu's reputation. Later, Duan Xiaoming and Lu Mingyu had a video call. The man playfully asked for compliments, saying he had cooperated with his girlfriend's plan today. After the call, Duan Xiaoming reflected on Lu Mingyu's actions. His girlfriend seemed to be hiding many secrets and had clever methods, skillfully using him. But Duan Xiaoming didn't mind. He truly liked Lu Mingyu. Lu Mingyu's aunt hated her deeply. Because of her, the Lu family was in chaos. The aunt angrily called Lu Mingyu a seductress, just like her mother, who had caused a 10-year separation between herself and her husband. Lu Mingyu didn't back down and retorted, "My mom never gave your husband a second glance. Know your place." The aunt, enraged, raised her hand to slap her, but failed and stormed off in fury. Su Yu discovered Lu Mingyu's mother-in-law at a nightclub with a male model and quickly sent a video to Lu Mingyu. Lu Mingyu decided to go to the bar that night. Zhang Xiang saw that Lu Mingyu and Su Yu had ordered several male models and immediately relayed the information to Duan Xiaoming. Soon after, Lu Mingyu received a video call from her boyfriend. While chatting with him, she calmly observed her aunt's actions. Duan Xiaoming, moving quickly, drove straight to the nightclub and teased, "Are you coming down, or should I come up and catch you?" Lu Mingyu didn't answer directly but instead asked, "Is the car in front of you shaking a lot?" Duan Xiaoming mistook her question for flirting and immediately responded, "Do you want to try the car?" Lu Mingyu leisurely replied, "Dare to crash into it?" In the next moment, Duan Xiaoming slammed his foot on the gas and crashed into the car. Then his voice came through the phone, "Traffic accident. Wife, I'm hanging up." The car accident at the nightclub's entrance caused an uproar, and the scandal of Lu Mingyu's mother-in-law's tryst with the male model quickly spread. Duan Xiaoming finally caught his sly girlfriend and curiously asked, "What are you laughing about?" To his surprise, Lu Mingyu confessed directly, "I like you." The two fell into an intense kiss, and the woman teasingly asked, "What do you like about me? It can't be my scheming, right?" Duan Xiaoming chuckled and gently responded, "You're beautiful. I noticed you back then. Your art, your inner self, That's when I truly fell in love with you." Lu Mingyu's uncle was furious and lashed out at his wife for causing the Lu family to fall into disgrace. Soon, he began to suspect that everything was being manipulated by Lu Mingyu from behind the scenes. To severely punish her, he took Lu Mingyu to see his grandmother and deliberately said to the elderly woman, who suffered from Alzheimer's, "Your beloved sons died in a car crash, all because of you." Sure enough, the grandmother was deeply affected and broke down emotionally, preparing to commit suicide. Seeing her grandmother about to take a knife, Lu Mingyu rushed to stop her, catching the blade in a moment of panic. She apologized to her uncle in pain, begging him not to harm the grandmother and offering to be locked away again as punishment. Lu Mingyu was locked in a room filled with scorpions. She recalled how Duan Xiaoming had taught her to play marbles, and she used the marbles to flick the scorpions away. When the confinement ended, Lu Mingyu received several messages from her boyfriend about dates. Duan Xiaoming realized his girlfriend was hard to schedule time with and thought of a clever way to get her attention, using a painting to lure her out. The painting was one he had bought a year ago, something he deeply admired, and he believed his artistic girlfriend would love it. Duan Xiaoming successfully arranged a date with Lu Mingyu. The man carefully wrapped a scarf around her neck, and Lu Mingyu was momentarily stunned. Duan Xiaoming planned to propose to her family next week, and Mingyu kissed him on the cheek. Duan Xiaoming personally crafted 2 rings, and the next day, he invited the girl to go shopping. Mischievously, he took off her silk scarf, and through the scarf, they shared a passionate kiss. Lu Mingyu paused shyly, but the man kissed her again. When Duan Xiaoming was preparing to propose, he received a call from his sister-in-law, informing him that his brother was in trouble. He kissed the woman's forehead and left. Duan Xiaoming saved his older brother, then told him, "You'll have a sister-in-law soon." Proud of his success, Duan Xiaoming was unaware that the girl he loved was about to marry someone else. Lu Mingyu had caught the eye of the young master of the Qin family, and to avoid offending them, Lu Ling suggested marrying Mingyu off. This angered his father, but since he didn't dare to offend the Qin family, he planned to torment his beautiful niece. Lu Mingyu realized that something had changed in the Lu family, but she couldn't figure out why. Recently, her uncle had wanted her to see her grandmother and she was thrilled, but the next moment, she was struck with a fatal blow. Her grandmother, recalling past events, took her own life to avoid burdening her granddaughter. Lu Mingyu wept bitterly, and with the loss of her greatest support, she was driven to madness and locked away again. Lu Qian prepared to punish her sister with a whip, but Lu Mingyu fought back, and when Lu Qian was about to be strangled by an iron chain around her neck, Lu Ling arrived just in time. At her grandmother's funeral, Lu Mingyu confronted her uncle. "You gave grandmother the hint, didn't you?" Her uncle pretended to act dumb. He had originally planned for Lu Mingyu to keep the mourning period so that she wouldn't have to marry, but Lu Ling forcefully took her to the wedding venue. At the wedding, Lu Mingyu took the microphone and cursed the Qin family, suggesting that the young master of the Qin family go work as a gigolo at a nightclub. The scandal spread rapidly, and just then the door opened, and Duan Xiaoming arrived at the scene, directly lifting Lu Mingyu away. "She's my wife," he declared. Duan Xiaoming's abrupt action was something Lu Mingyu had anticipated, but she soon realized that his mood was off. The smart girl guessed that Duan Xiaoming might have figured out her true intentions. Duan Xiaoming pulled out her passport and questioned her, asking if she had never intended to marry him, and when she started planning this. Lu Mingyu admitted that from the first meeting, she had decided that her first time should be with someone she chose. Duan Xiaoming was in pain as he asked, "Did you ever love me?" The woman remained silent. Regaining his composure, Duan Xiaoming asked if there were any plans left unfinished. Lu Mingyu showed him a plane ticket. The man decided to take her to the airport. However, when Lu Mingyu saw that one of her sold paintings was hanging in Duan Xiaoming's house, she was lost in her past works. She realized she had been running away all along, but now she should seek revenge. Duan Xiaoming told her, "I'm willing to be your weapon." But Lu Mingyu didn't want to continue using the man who was genuinely devoted to her. Duan Xiaoming kissed the girl fiercely and begged, "Please use me." Duan Xiaoming sent the girl to the airport, and before leaving, Lu Mingyu gave him a hug and thanked him. Duan Xiaoming shouted after her, "Whether it's a breakup or a severance, please, Lu Mingyu, live a life that's glamorous and dignified." Duan Xiaoming ordered his men to investigate every trace of Lu Mingyu's life in the Lu family. Soon, the man discovered an unbearable truth. Lu Mingyu's real name was Lu Minji, and she had once been a genius girl. Her parents were wealthy and loved her, but after they passed away, her uncle seized her parents' fortune and adopted her. Duan Xiaoming went abroad, and when he saw his beloved girl lying in a hospital bed, a nurse told him that the patient had been abused multiple times, and aside from her face, her body was covered in scars. Duan Xiaoming watched the girl seriously painting after she regained consciousness. He didn't know how to reconcile with Lu Mingyu, so he turned to his older brother for advice. Soon after, Duan Xiaoming found Lu Mingyu and slapped himself with her hand. Lu Mingyu was a little surprised. Duan Xiaoming said, "I know you want revenge. It's hard to go against an entire family alone, but I can help you become your capital." Seeing his sincerity, Lu Mingyu agreed. Duan Xiaoming seized the opportunity and moved into her house. Late one night, he discovered that the girl was having a nightmare, and he quickly comforted her. At that moment, Zhang Xiang sent him a video. After watching it, Duan Xiaoming was in pain and vowed to help his beloved take revenge. Duan Xiaoming instructed his subordinates to exact revenge on the Lu and Qin families, targeting not only their finances but their reputations as well. The man told Lu Mingyu that he would arrange a painting exhibition for her. To prevent his girlfriend from fainting due to exhaustion while preparing her works, Duan Xiaoming set up a strict training and dietary plan for her. When news of Lu Mingyu's upcoming art exhibition reached the Qin and Lu families, they spread rumors that the second young miss of the Lu family couldn't paint, attaching some of her past family works as evidence. However, Lu Mingyu wasn't worried. She issued a challenge to both families and prepared to expose their dirt online. The Qin family's young lady was confident she would win. Little did she know Lu Mingyu's painting skills were far superior. She could even paint with candles. With her incredible artistic abilities, Lu Mingyu stunned everyone and won. Afterward, she invited everyone into her art exhibition. Furious, Lu Qian attempted to attack her, but Duan Xiaoming stopped her. Both Lu Qian and her mother were taken away by the mafia. Lu Ling and his father realized something was wrong and immediately fled abroad. However, as soon as they landed, they were kidnapped. The kidnapped Lu family father and son became the gift that the eldest sister-in-law gave to her younger sister-in-law, Lu Mingyu. Lu Mingyu slapped her uncle across the face. Her uncle was unwilling to admit his crimes, but the eldest sister-in-law immediately threatened him with a knife. In the end, her uncle confessed the truth. He was responsible for the death of her mother, and he had orchestrated the car accident that killed Lu Mingyu's parents. Lu Mingyu prepared to deal with this scumbag herself, but was persuaded by Duan Xiaoming. The woman came up with a brilliant idea. Let the dogs bite each other, and then she left. The eldest sister-in-law told the Lu family father and son that only one of them could survive. Without hesitation, Lu Ling shot his father. The young couple strolled through the snow-covered park, and Duan Xiaoming proposed to Lu Mingyu. The woman grabbed the man and kissed him deeply. The story ends here. Thank you all for watching, and I hope every girl finds happiness and embraces it boldly.